You're successful, smart, people rely on you. You are checking every box, but everything feels off. Especially these days, the pressure many professional women like you, are under feels relentless. The economic landscape is uncertain, markets have been fluctuating wildly, and the constant whisper of what's next makes even simple strategic decisions feel heavier than they should. You are navigating a lot and still expected to lead with clarity and confidence. This kind of uncertainty, it doesn't stay at work. It seeps into our bodies, our homes, and our sleep. You might feel like your nervous system is always on edge, never fully resting, just toggling between performance mode and recovery mode. And even when you're not at work, your brain is still spinning. How is my team coping? Are we positioned for what's coming? Am I spending enough time at home with my family? Is this sustainable? Many women are carrying not just their own stress, but the weight of their teams, their partners, their aging parents, and their kids. You may be parenting through academic stress or mental health struggles your children are facing. You may be feeling overwhelmed because your role at work is demanding right now, and so are the needs of everyone around you. Inside organizations, the mood is tense. You may be sensing uncertainty on your team or managing interpersonal dynamics that just feel more fraught than usual. Motivation may be dipping, emotions are running high. People are distracted and disengaged. And often it falls to you to hold the space, to stay strong, focused, positive, even when you're not sure you have anything left to give. And maybe quietly you're wondering, what about me? You might feel stalled or disconnected from your purpose. You've accomplished a lot, but the joy you once felt is harder to access. You want to make the right decisions for your life, for your family, and for your legacy. But with so much noise and pressure, it's hard to hear your own voice. This is what many high-achieving women are carrying these days. The world is unstable, and the ground beneath your feet feels like it's shaking. You may not even talk about it at work. You may not even fully name it, but the weight is there, and you deserve the space to put it down. Because the truth is, this moment with its intensity, demands, and uncertainty, this isn't asking for perfection. It requires depth, reflection, integration, and real conversations with other women who are also carrying a lot. I want to share 9 reasons why community with women on a similar journey, especially right now, is not a luxury. It's a powerful, intentional act of leadership and self-preservation. If you're ready to move through this season with more clarity, connection, and courage, this might be exactly what you've been needing. Reason number 1, because performing is not the same thing as leading. You don't need to keep pretending. Many of us are still performing a version of leadership we learned years ago, some based on control or image, but for most of us, from over-functioning. Community is where the mask can come off. In the right communities, and let's be honest, not all communities are the same, but in the right communities, we have safety, truth, and space. The question that changes everything: who am I when I'm not managing perceptions? You need mirrors, not masks. Most high-achieving women are great at holding it together. But what we rarely have is someone who can mirror back our strength, our blind spots, with love. A community of like-minded women is filled with women who see you clearly and hold space for the real you. It's not about being impressive. It's about being honest. Reason number 2, because clarity is more powerful than hustle. You don't need another productivity tool. You need a compass, direction that lets you lead from purpose, not panic. When you get clear on what matters to you, what drives you, your next steps aren't reactive but deeply aligned. Reason number 3, because your brilliance shouldn't be blocked out by self-doubt. Even high performers have limiting beliefs. Whether it's I can't slow down or I'll let people down if I say no, these beliefs shape how we show up. And often your inner critic gets louder in uncertainty. When the future feels unclear, the brain looks for certainty and often defaults to fear-based stories. I'm not ready. What if I fail? What if people finally realize I'm not as great as they thought? Reason number 4, because setting boundaries is a leadership skill. Burnout doesn't just come from doing too much. It comes from saying yes to the wrong things. Setting righteous boundaries, as my friend calls them, and reclaiming your energy as a strategic resource are critically important because protecting your capacity is protecting your impact. And we need to think about both the short and long term because legacy is built in the margins. Legacy isn't always a massive initiative. It's the consistent, intentional impact you make in small moments, the relationships you build, the teams you empower. But to build a legacy, you have to create and protect margin, and communities help you to do that. Reason number 5, because life integration is the goal. We've tried it, but compartmentalizing our lives isn't what we need in order to lead effectively. You need a rhythm that reflects your values, your priorities, and your humanity. Reason number 6, because real leadership growth doesn't happen in isolation. You're not alone in what you're feeling, but it can feel lonely. A community of women on a similar path is the room where you get to reflect, be seen, be challenged, and supported. It's not a luxury or a nice to have. It's a lifeline. Reason number 7, because you deserve a space where you don't have to be the expert. You're the one everyone counts on, but where do you go when you need perspective? Where do you get to be the learner, the human, the woman behind the title? Because that space, the collective of ambitious women, that's where your next level leadership is born. Reason number 8, because your future self needs you to pause. You can keep grinding, or you can take a breath and choose how to show up. The clarity, peace, and power you need doesn't come from pushing harder. It comes from reflecting. Rest is strategic, and you are allowed to rest, to pause, to build in recovery. And in the community spaces I lead, we normalize that. We explore what rest looks like for a high-performing, purpose-driven woman, and why integrating it into your rhythm isn't a weakness, but a superpower. And reason number 9, because together we go farther. You've probably heard the quote, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. A community, a collective, a leadership circle, these types of spaces are game changers. They're multipliers. They amplify your clarity, your courage, and your growth. And they give you a tribe of brilliant, wise women to walk beside you while you lead in your biggest life, because being in the right room changes everything. There is something profoundly life-giving about being in a circle of ambitious, grounded, wise women who aren't intimidated by you, who aren't competing with you, but are walking alongside you. This kind of room doesn't just change your leadership. It changes your sense of self. One thing I often say is don't journey alone. I've been on the planet a lot of years now, and that piece of wisdom has proven to be true time and again. Look, I know we are all experiencing a lot, especially people like you, people who others look to for guidance, for leadership, for grounding. The weight can feel enormous. Sometimes it's hard to put words on it. It's just heavy. Community is where you can exhale, put the bags down, take the cape off, remove the mask, and be in all of your humanness. And I know it can feel scary, vulnerable, but it can also be rejuvenating and life-giving. I've been fortunate to be a part of these kinds of spaces during my journey. Spaces where grounded and trained coaches show up and lead the discussion and curate the journey with wisdom, with guidance, and with intention. But I have found that many women are not so fortunate. The unrelenting grind leaves no margin. And that mask, well, that can't come off, because if people knew, if they really knew the weight of what you're carrying, you worry that your world as you know it may fall apart. And you'd love to take off that cape, but it's kind of become your armor. So how can you? I know that many women, especially leaders, are tired. They're lonely, and they need that space. So I build and hold space for them, to serve them, encourage them, and connect them. Look, I know I'm an optimist, but I also know that things are shaking. Please exhale. Give yourself space to just be, to release. The birds are still singing, and the sun is still shining, and you're still here. I encourage you today to take a moment, be present in the moment. Notice a blossom on a tree, the smile on a child's face, the feeling of the sun on your skin, and to ground yourself in gratitude, giving thanks for what you have.